Hello Pisces, thank you for joining us. This is Rosemary coming to you from ANSARA Angels Ave. This Angelscope is for both Pisces Sun and Pisces Moon. These are your November 2014 Christian Angel answers from your Pisces Angel Amnitziel, who resides over mutable water. Pisces leaves October behind, considering Jack Frost, Rudolph, Dasher, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen, taking full advantage of the control and allure of the beaver moon on the 6th of the month of November. Busy little beavers are building their dams up in the extreme regions with much anticipation of the freezing wintry slush soon to turn to ice. So walk carefully. Walk very carefully, Pisces. Native Americans, true to their autumn rituals, set beaver traps in the 11th month, marked by the Latin word revealing the true secret number of this month, which is 9. Secrets abound and unfold, with the fish forever seeking which is correct, 9 or 11 for this month. Ever seeking between two numbers and the double mind of the bicameral universe, where the essence of the soul resides within the black hole of time. This information cannot be lost no matter what Hawking says about the matter, and is ever spewed from the circulating, swarming, luminous light, temporarily chained within the depths of darkness at the center of the galaxy. The center of the universe, however, is where there is found the true God, who is the prime consciousness and prime light we are all shards sprung from when the world soul was shattered. So if Yud He Vav He is in the center of the galaxy, with the fire letters being the temple, then Yud He Shin Vav He is at the center of the universe with this sort of frozen light. Okay, both are necessary. Father and son, obviously. One gives birth to the other, right? Sort of like in an Egyptian pantheon where we have Nu giving birth to Ra, the god with breasts, and who can give birth, which I suppose makes it a woman, but that's okay. Okay. The center of the universe is where there is found the true God, who is the prime consciousness and prime light. That's established. Okay. Continuing with Amnitziel's transmission, as we bring this world soul back together again, we become God again, not in ourselves, but rather in our relationship to each other, our communion, our common miracles, bestowing ever gifting from a limitless light. Let there be light, fiat lux. Here is found the light in the barren womb of the stony tomb of Lilith. Here is the spark of light formed cleanly and sternly into an entire new being. So you see, without the tomb, in the tomb womb, everything gets very messy, and everything just starts letting more and more and more and more disease and quite frankly, just error. Error. Because only the crone or the Lilith, barren womb, only that can truly clean up error. Because death is already being visited. And that's the only consciousness that can actually perceive beyond the things of this world, which are just basically everybody's brain marinated in their reproductive hormones, which makes them make silly choices rather than what's actually healthy. So once someone is in that state, that person can really clean things up. between that. That's when you get true compassionate justice. Now, continuing with this transmission from Nitziel. Let me go back to the original. Yeah, that's the original. Okay, the original transmission. We're continuing. Nitziel says, now is the time for capturing beavers in sturdy traps before the wetlands freeze over. After all, Pisces, seriously, we must get our winter furs supplied before the chill sets into the trunks of the mighty austere trees, hungering to be chopped down for Christmas festivities. Now, people are saying that furs are bad. That you shouldn't skin animals and take their fur for clothes. But that's exactly what Jehovah did in the Old Testament. He made Adam and Eve furs after he kicked them out of the garden and made them go out in the wilderness in the cold. But he was nice enough to skin some animals and give them fur. He was a furrier, obviously. I mean, if you can keep your mate warm and give your mate food, your mate's going to stick around if you know, there's no food and no warmth. You'll kill the animal, you'll eat it, and you'll give its fur, you know, for clothes. Like, it's obvious. That's where humans came from. Human that were born in the cold, obviously. It depends on the environment. So when people go to different environments, they begin to understand how other people feel. So that's why transportation is important. And for everybody to understand, sit in somebody else's shoes for a moment. And then one can understand how someone feels, and one can work with that and find the best way to do things. Which, again, is always written in your holy books. Continuing with Nitziel's transmission. Prime Creator exalts the planet Mercury in November, and the fish will feel the effects of Gemini the twins and Virgo the Virgin, because Mercury influences those two signs, influencing your mental capabilities over the birth of the sun from the house of Libra, bearing its seed, bringing to fruition the 13th runestone seed Iwas within the house of Scorpio. The runes of Iwas brings the luck of the princess, trapped in the castle of the king, for the making of golden thread from simple straw. You all know this old story. Not only is it, not only did it happen to Queen Elizabeth I's alchemists, John Dee and Edward Kelly, and Enochian magicians, but also, you know, it's an old fairy tale, right? Okay. That we tell our children. Because we know that children's fairy tales and songs and prayers are so uplifting, right? Okay. This luck penetrates through the portal of the green sun of Vril, remembering the Yggdrasil seed of the world tree genetic code, showing the force of the unity of life and death held in the clutches of the sharpened claws of Lilith. Though sure of eye and hand, lands arrows shot from bow into the very throat of the game boar, where sights are lovingly set, for we must love our prey, if we are to capture it for our sacrifice at the Mabon feast. Now, Mabon and Thanksgiving, it's all the same thing. It's all different ways to celebrate the same thing. You know, these holidays are wonderful. They're put there to get us through times which are difficult, and these rituals are very important because human beings do rituals. We do our rituals. Whatever rituals you do, do your own rituals. Correct yourself, not other people. These rituals and these books exist for us to correct ourselves, not for us to run around correcting other people. Make sure you're following every single law in Leviticus before you spew it at other people. Seriously. All right. Even in desolate, frozen wasteland, the strapping and sharp can hunt and bring to final intention any game allowing family and kin to feast the delight of the 8th runestone seed of Wunjo, where the fish's happiness is again found in great statistics and irresistible crowds. Now, some of my students, some of the members of my order have mentioned that some people were talking about Leviticus. And they said they were having a debate with these people. And I'll find out what went on there. Okay. Love matters come apart for those not prepared with bounty for family, lovers, and acquaintances alike. The spirit of sharing and sharing alike in November are unsuspecting victims of second-guessing due to the aforementioned exaltation of the planet Mercury, giving rise to logic over desire and fairness over choice. So what does that mean? What Nitzil's trying to say here is, he's trying to say that there's going to be a lot of good debate because everybody's gotten very intelligent. I mean, scientific people are intelligent, but so are people who are working through faith and through, who trust God, trust Jesus, whatever. Whoever, the spiritual people versus the scientific people. These two different camps are really going to go at it. But that was predicted, by the way, in Morals and Dogma, I believe it was, long ago, before World War I. The 3 world wars were predicted. Predicted or scripted. Scripted. I mean, it's right there. It says they will unleash the nihilists, which are the people that that want to be annihilated and love death, the culture of death, and the people that only believe in science, versus the fanatic and fundamentalist religions of the world, which will all really have quite a bloody time, which will then lead into a new world, which is what we're talking about. Okay. Would-be lovers and saviors are seeking much advice in November from those who can see clearly through the storm, finding a way through and out of calamitous circumstance and despicable situations. Luck is made available by the gods, and the mighty Zeus releases Poseidon from his watery dungeon, bringing Hades to release the bulls of the house of Taurus, cleansed by the fires of 7 months past. The mighty seed of the runestone Fehu races forward and charges the fish in a turbulent stampede of like-minded species. Opportunity is knocking, and there is always a way through the storm clouds brewing steadily from the fires of warfare and the promise of luxury. So people want more, so there's only one way to get more, and that's to take it from somebody else in a world that's populated. There's no more frontier. So, even space is already colonized. So, people have to now begin to take it from each other and to build a name for themselves and gain glory and riches. So that's what's going on. So remember to store your treasures up in heaven, because everything in this world is transient. And you will only be desperate if you're concerned for this life. You will not be desperate if you're concerned for the next life, which is either your next incarnation, when you reincarnate, or if you reincarnate an ego, or, well, unless you're a nihilist and you don't want to exist anymore, which I guess you won't if you don't want to. And then for the people that want to proceed, they're developing organs, building organs in their body in their next life, in the world to come. And in the year of the horse, very important. Okay. We got to pin a tail on the horse. Okay. Now, the mighty seed of the runestone Fehu races forward and charges the fish in a turbulent stampede of like-minded species. Now, this promise of luxury from war, it's a good time to remember, please remember this, because it's the lonely hearts are going to come at you. Lonely hearts are really going to come at you. One way or another, they're going to try to get you, and they're going to take your money. November is a good time to remember that although money can buy the accoutrements of love, it cannot buy the thing in and of itself, for that is attained with deed and cooperation, buttressed by much friendship, camaraderie, and eons of time. You know who you can trust. You know who you cannot trust. People are drawn to people who are evil because they thought people who were evil could help them survive in the harsh world. That's just from our caveman days. But that is changing now. We're going into a different eon where it's more Cro-Magnon kind of reality in this 3D realm. In this 3D realm is being lifted up to 4D realm, and all realms are going up. So what's happening is that people who are, not people who are pushovers, not people who just let people walk all over them, not people who are nice, people who have integrity and do what they say they are going to do. People who live by the same who live by the same rules that they preach to others. You should do this, but they also do it. And they don't correct others by just saying you better do this or I'm going to smack you. They don't say like that. They say do it because they show them by their example. I'm doing it. And I'm doing it the best I can, correcting myself, and this is what I've gained from it. They'll come to you. You don't need to run around and evangelize, because they will come to you because they will see the light in you, and they will go towards it like moths. And when they show up, you build them, because everything costs money, because you have to feed your family. Charge them whatever you think is reasonable, and stick to your price, and that's hard. But that's what we'll all figure out. And you can change your price when you see fit, but whatever your price is for that moment, stick to it. Just if you offer the person something, give it to them for that. Now, if they're trying to snow you, you'll know your instincts will tell you when someone's trying to snow you. Just, not interested. All right. This Lonely Hearts thing is really gonna get bad, so watch out. Seriously. Especially for you, Pisces. Okay, continuing with the mid-sales transmission. Now, the fish may think that it's essential to have choice of love always and eternally. Different people that, that you can lean on. Or, not lean on because you're very generous, but have in your life. Whether it's community or family. You want them to always be around you, and you will destroy anyone who tries to come between you and your community and family. There's nothing wrong with that. It's really the ocean, if not the jungle. This feeling that if you have all these people supporting you, it'll lead to much autonomy and cheerfulness. But the problem is you're dishing out either too much of your energy, too much of your money, too much of your time to these people, as you all know. And you're going to find that actually quite the contrary is true when it comes to if you give, these people will always be there. They won't. People come and go as they please, and, people tend to their own business. But if true love, going back to the transmission here, is what you need, Pisces, and you must make the choice will bring you just that. All things are born of their breed. So whatever you are choosing will be exactly that choice. Nothing more and nothing less. So if you choose a certain person who's of a certain DNA, physical DNA, or astrology is a spiritual DNA, exactly the same thing. If you choose that, they're going to be exactly what they are. If a person, is, for example, if a person is a rabbit, and they're, in the Chinese astrology, and they're also say they're a Pisces and another, in the Western astrology, those two things mix and they merge, and you have to know. It's kind of like, any kind of medicine, really. It's being a doctor in another way, that's all. It's the same thing. It's all these different systems. There's systems and organs, and they have to come together, and things move and exchange. And the outer, the outer verse and the inner verse, universe, it's all the same. What was that ride at Disneyland? Flight through inner space, flight through outer space. It's the same thing. Planets do things, and our bodies do things, and we're, that's part of science too. We're connected. Everything. People say that doesn't affect me. I'm not connected to that. That doesn't. Yes, you are. We're all connected. So get that and deal with it. Now, people are what they say, and although some wiggle room is found in all life when exposed to enough light, systems are set into place very early on in life, as you all know, Pisces. You know that people have what? So like 80% of their personality by the time they're 3. They have, another maybe 90% of their personality by the time they're 8, and by the time they're 12, they're done. They're toast. So, the psychologists say, oh, well, that was then, this is now. What are they going to do? Okay. Now, money matters, very important. Prove to be in panic mode in November, Pisces. The fish is just upside down this month when it comes to money, and funding matters. Like if things are becoming available, like property or certain kinds of funds or whatever, or if you want to be invested in stock markets or you want to be invested in property, in real estate, you want the money to do that. And that's what you're concerned about. Now, so what happens? Business as usual is always preferable. But new ideas and new ways of doing things undermine the will of those who want things the way they used to be. So this, again, and it says it's a brave new world where justice and compassion find their way back into the grand scheme of things. So justice and compassion are brought back now in this new age of Aquarius. And this is what we've been waiting for. Because what else would the Messianic kingdom be but a place where the meek inherit the earth? And justice and compassionate justice prevail. What else would the Messianic kingdom be? It's no longer a world run by the enablers, but is a new form of the old world where an eye costs an eye and a tooth costs a tooth for all beings. There is no longer a need to sacrifice the innocent. This has been the milieu of all the patriarchal religions. We're going to sacrifice something innocent so we all can live because we're not innocent. That is no longer the case. Would it be like that in the Messianic kingdom? Of course not. Why? Why won't it be like that in the Messianic kingdom? Because the Most High Father God is in charge. That's why. So there is no longer a need to sacrifice the innocent. The new eon, now firmly in place, calls in the sacrifice of the guilty. For why should the innocent lambs like Jesus be sacrificed? Should not Judas Iscariot be held responsible instead for his treason and his treachery? They say no one says life is fair. But Pisces begs to differ. Life should be fair, and it will be, if I have anything to say about it. Over the ages, human persons have tried to make some sense of things. They have attempted to understand each other's behavioral attitudes, modifying the patterns to the end of commerce devoid of love. All other creatures in the universe, created by Praemonstratrix in cooperation with the Prime Exalter, are prone to the irrational behavior of love, which of course has no logic put to it. Rather, this is an overrun plagued by pathological symptoms of ludicrous gropings in the vain attempt to reach a higher state of mind as well as body. The amorphous bodies are unwilling and unable to reach states of abundant altars due to their inability to congeal into the alchemical wedding of spirit and matter. When those who do business are lucid and clear intentioned, complete cohesiveness between you and your money, yourself and your business, your intention and your reality, become one and the same, or the crabs, where the fish's work is in constant similitude with the martial aspects of a fierce mind. The fervent, unstoppable will meets the immovable object of trade and barter, carving out a piece of mind stuff in a cookie-cutter fashion that is just the right size and shape for your vessel of intention to bring you the most perfect and delightful answer to your dreams, Pisces. So, in other words, the Father God at the center of the universe, where the fire letter temple Yahweh or Jehovah resides, gives birth to the Son, the King of the universe, because once we exalt his Son. So we have Yud He Vav He giving birth to Yud He Shin Vav He, King of the universe, Jesus Christ. He's a frozen light, the center of the universe, who then permeates everything. Now, does the Father let that in? That has to go, that's where the Mother comes in. Because without the Holy Mother, the Father and the Son cannot reconcile. Because the fire angels will not be quenched. Okay, now this brings us to the rune stone seed of Sowilo, that again is going in the exact opposite direction you would normally have it proceed. This is due to a just let it be milieu, plus observation, equals apathetic disregard. Equation used by the fish to study the behavior of all creatures, then employing a subsequent attempt to absorb the proverbial bullet, so that both the strength of the fish and those cared for are secure. So in other words, Pisces is just trying to protect, again, we'll say it again, we said it before, we'll say it again. You're just trying to protect, of course, yourself, because that's natural, but then Pisces goes a step further to protect the family or the community or those cared for. So I'll take the bullet, hit me with whatever you got, and I'll protect everybody from whatever's coming at, because of a protective, generous nature that you're trying to protect those you care for. And you're willing to sacrifice yourself most of the time, which is why Pisces the fifth, it's associated with feet, the feet in the human body, just like Leo's associated with the back and the spine and the heart, and Scorpio's associated with all the reproductive organs, all these different things. So you're simply trying to protect others and sacrifice yourself for others, which is why Pisces the fish sort of is a Christian symbol. It's all the same, like Mr. Astrotheology says. Okay, continuing with the mid-sales transmission. Now, you trying to protect others and take the proverbial bullet for them in whatever way, shape, or form that is. This is quite necessary to forego any conclusions that the will here discussed is in any way malleable to anything other than planetary influences set in constant motion by the higher powers of Prime Creatrix and Prime Creator who exist in the shadow of the Prime Exalter and the Prime Exaltrix. Health matters. Very important for you Pisces this month. Health matters are bracing, if not insecure, for the fish in November. The runestone seed number 1 of Fehu rushes towards the allocation of newfound freedom bestowed from the reserves of biotech. Biotech ready for those who would grab the holographic ring of transhumanism. Because people, you offer them something that will fix something, they're going to take it. When it really comes down to it, people will take whatever will maintain themselves. Now, who gives themselves, who sacrifices themselves for others? There are people who do that. And Pisces does that too much. So allow yourself to have the fruits of transhumanism and the holographic technologies that are now coming your way, where people who care about the most are going to walk right into a hologram. If Virgin America Airlines can fly the upper echelons to the moon and beyond, and they do, then why not give those who remain on planet a new toy such as holographic entertainment? It's the least they can do, right? By the same token, physicians can now begin to rival nature by mimicking her so well. Those in need of true healing of body and brain can gain just that. Miracles can be attained by simple, unrelenting faith in divine providence, or it can be gotten by the provisions of the mind of man. Humans have come to earth to combine the DNA of Cain and Abel to deliver a new faith and religion to humankind, where both consciousness called soul, and purpose called spirit is found infused inseparably into matter, granting immortality to those who desire and merit such a state of being. If you desire it, truly desire it, then it's yours. There's many ways to attain it. It can be gotten through Cain or Abel, through science or religion, through science or spirituality. But what the Masons are doing is mixing the two, and have been doing so since the beginning of our fabricated time, or as Brian Camilo often says, Illuminati-Matrix.org, to make someone that can have, and the people who wrote the book Nano from the Kabbalah Center, people that are Billy Phillips' mentors. It's about nanotech, being able to be immortal in the body, and having glorified bodies. And if you have to reincarnate to get that, fine. If you're going to get it in your lifetime, that's fine. It's really however you want it. If somebody wanted it, they would have it. If something's forbidden, it just means you haven't attained it yet. You don't have the sensors to attain it. Once you have, like, certain animals don't have an opposing thumb. They can't grab things. They don't have the organs. They can't do it. Once they have the organs, they can do it, then they can attain it. It's very simple. That's all. So, whatever it's whatever you desire, and your purpose, your desires were given to you by the Creator in the very beginning anyway. So it's going to be very exciting in November. There's going to be new passion, new excitement, and as a result of going for it. Now, enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday. Enjoy the seasonal dinners and the events that Pisces is usually too active to attend to. Enjoy the turkey, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce. We are. And don't forget the pumpkin pie for your health, vitality, vim, and vigor. Be wise, be well, be all you are meant to be, Pisces. Your divine tone of I believe adds discretion and valor to the mix during November's festivities. Thank you for joining us, Pisces, and join us again next month.